This episode is sponsored by the Tiltcats, which can be found at tiltcat.com, also on etraplay.info, which is a weekly podcast about video games, right along with some reviews that can be found over on their website. The Carousel Podcast, which can be found at thecarouselpodcast.com. Also a weekly podcast, which can also be found on etraplay.info. But not only does it cover video games, also music, movies, and comics. So check them out. Today we are looking at Crazy Taxi, which is available on Xbox Live Arcade, and also is available in the Dreamcast collection, I believe, which can be found at retail on a disc, along with a couple other Dreamcast games. But as a lot of you might know from the Dreamcast era, Crazy Taxi was a very interesting game, and one that is regarded on a lot of people's top 10 lists of the Dreamcast generation. And pretty much the only thing have been changed here from the original Dreamcast port over to the Xbox port is pretty much the soundtrack which was available by Offbrain have been completely replaced with new artists and whatnot. So yeah, other than that, you can tell this is more or less just a port straightly from the Dreamcast. But do the game still holds up like almost 10 years later? Let's find out in the review of Crazy Taxi. Today we are looking at Crazy Taxi for the Xbox 360 and also available on the PS3 for roughly around $10. With it being a somewhat wannabe HD remake of the original Crazy Taxi, which was played in arcades and also on the Dreamcast back in the day, pretty much not much have exactly changed, and then again at the same time not a lot have carried over. Pretty much the gameplay itself is still the same. Go from point A to point D, delivering your fails and collecting money and trying to do it in the fastest time possible to get more and more money, which will go over into the leaderboard. The stuff that have changed is, of course, the music. Now no longer the Offbrain soundtrack is completely gone, and we played with some new stuff which isn't nearly as good as the feel that you got from having Offbrain blaring during this. But then again, that could be your taste on if you like Offbrain or not. The other thing that have changed is, of course, now they have took out the advertisement. So now Kentucky Fried Chickens and so on have been replaced by artificial places, and yeah, the overall feel of that is completely gone. The gameplay itself is the same, it's just the feel is a lot different. And of course, now you still have the mini games, which in some cases can get a little challenging and a little confusing as far as the way the controls are set up, because it's not exactly the best control scheme. Then again, that might be dated to the time of the Dreamcast. I'm not exactly for sure how it played on the Dreamcast, but still, changing from reverse to drive is a little difficult and can come extremely irritating later on. So overall, I give Crazy Taxi a 2 out of 5.
Tokyo and Tulsa, Oklahoma's largest anime, Japanese, and pop culture event, July 15th through 17th. 3 days of unique shopping, cosplay, Oklahoma's largest console gaming room, tabletop gaming, and thousands of dollars in giveaways. Over 100 hours of panels and events. Guests include actors from Dragon Ball Z, Soul Eater, Final Fantasy 13, and more. And don't miss Freeze Pop in concert Friday night. Go to tokyoandtulsa.com for info on all this non-stop family-friendly fun.
Wow, wow,